Alright, so basically, this is the second day. After the first day, you let it sit for a whole day in the warm. Make sure it's warm. Right, you can let it sit. So after you put that little bit of sugar in there on the first time, obviously this is a different bottle, but you want to take this bottle and you're gonna want to add some more in there. Make sure the orange juice you're using is 100% orange juice. Concentrate. That's what you use for this one. You could probably use it with some other ones, but this is the one they be using. And you could use Kool-Aid in it too. I don't usually make them using Kool-Aid in it too, but you don't got to use it. So we're gonna pour more sugar in there. And then I'm doing this one-handed. All the way. Cause you got a quick set. So you really want to keep putting sugar in it until it's like a syrup, somewhere between a milk and a syrup in it. That's really what you want it as, at least by the second day. The first day, you just putting a little bit in there in the beginning. So I spilled it a little bit, but so by the second day, put it back on there. You want it to be like a little syrup, something between milk and syrup. But yeah, you want to make sure you keep this warm all the time. Keep it warm. Don't let it get cold. And once it gets to a certain temperature, you know what I'm saying, you want it to keep it at that temperature. Don't let it get colder than what it is. Just gonna need a little more. Ain't quite right there. Don't let it get colder than what it is once you get it to a certain temperature that you know you're gonna keep it at.
In court Friday on video in the Oakland County Jail, waiving his right to a preliminary exam.
Okay, so I'm just putting more and more sugar in it to get it real to that. You know what I'm saying? That thick. At least probably a little bit more. I done put a decent amount in there. It really don't matter how much you put. You just need to get it to that little, to where it's thick. Real thick, you know what I'm saying? That's really when you get it to. And once it's at that point, you can sit. Oh shit. Let it sit after that. But when you letting it sit, you gotta check on it. You gotta do what they call burp it. Because it's gonna be gas and shit like CO2 building up in there from it, you know, fermenting in there. So you're gonna need to do that because it's gonna start expanding. That gas buildup gonna start expanding it. And if you don't open it, let the gas out of there, man, it's gonna explode for real. It's gonna blow up. It's gonna be loud and it's gonna make a mess and everything. So make sure you watch it and let the gas out. Burp it, because it will explode on you. And if you can't, you gotta do that about every hour, bro. For real. Check it about every hour. And if you can't do that, then leave it open a little bit. The cap, really, you don't want to do it like that, though. You need the cap open a little bit. Leave the cap open a little bit. And so it'll let the gas out so it don't blow up in you. Put it somewhere, you don't mind stuff getting messed up at. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep putting sugar in here until it gets to like a real like syrupy, well, not quite syrup, between milk and syrup, but real thick. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you want it to be at. And keep it somewhere warm. Like, I'm gonna put it, I got this little heater right here. I'm gonna just set it right back in there. When I'm done with it, I'm still gonna put more stuff to it, but when I'm done with it, I'm gonna set it right back there. Let's go sit there. Yeah, keep it somewhere warm. Consistency. Don't let it like go too cold and then hot and then cold. You don't want that. You're gonna mess it up. You don't want that. Just be, consistent temperature all the time. Make sure it's warm. And when you do this, make sure this is room temperature when you pour it in there. You know what I'm saying? So leave it out for a day or something. You don't want it to be cold when you do this. You want this to be room temperature, and then once you put the sugar in there, you're gonna want it to be warmer than room temperature.
Calling docket numbers 2100665.
I'm gonna show you a video of the one me and Ace made the first time, so you can see what it looked like when we made it. That's what this was about to look like once I'm done with it. I ain't about to show it. Hold up.
This one number sugar and orange juice. This shit right here gonna blow a nigga face off.
Okay, so just know that when he did that, he put Kool-Aid in it, red Kool-Aid in it. So it's not gonna look quite just like that. It's gonna be about the same consistency, that thick, milky consistency, but it's not gonna be quite that dark because he put red Kool-Aid in it. So that changed the color up a little bit, but yeah, you want it to be real. You want it to be pretty thick, you know what I'm saying? So just shake it out. I use a glass bottle. But I would say use a plastic one because you can really, with the plastic one, it's going to feel tight. You don't know when you need to open it because it's going to feel tight. With the glass one, you can't tell because it's always hard. But with the plastic ones, when you need to burp it, it's going to feel like this. It's going to feel hard because there's a lot of pressure in there. So you need to pop the cap open real quick so it don't blow up. You see what I'm saying? Like these plastic ones, you can squeeze it. But it's gonna get to a point where you're not gonna be able to squeeze it like that no more. You're gonna have to take the cap off of it and burp that motherfucker so it don't blow up on you. And shit, we gonna let it sit for about 5 days in a warm place. So you can put it under your pillow, in your blanket. You can put it behind a heater, in a windowsill in the sun, wherever. Just make sure it don't get cold once you get it warm. And make sure the temperatures don't change too much. I know Ace, when he was locked up, he used to put that shit in his drawers and shit. And he used to walk around with it in there. Like, so, I mean, obviously you ain't gotta do all that. That's some other shit, but yeah, just keep it warm. That's the main thing. Keep this motherfucker warm. And check on it. Because it will explode and it will sound like a gunshot. And it will be loud as fuck. And make a big ass mess. So make sure you check on it. Burp it. So it's called burping and let the gas out. But yeah, I mean, that's really it, for real. The sugar is yeast in here. It's yeast in the orange juice. The sugar activate the yeast in the orange juice, basically just making it spoil faster. Really, all this is just spoiled orange juice. Really, I mean, the yeast, normally when orange juice spoil, it build up yeast anyway. You just making it spoil faster than it normally do by adding more sugar. So that's really all this is. And yeah, I'll come back and show y'all what it look like in about 5 days.